Hello everyone, this is ERD Stitches. Welcome to today's tutorial. Today's tutorial is on how to draft a jumpsuit. It is going to be beginners friendly. It will be one of the easiest one you have ever watched. So I thank you for subscribing to my channel, for supporting me. If you have not subscribed, please try and do so to support me. Measurement needed for this tutorial are
span measurement, bust point, and under bust, our bust circumference, our waist circumference, our hip circumference, our thigh, our knee, and our foot. The crotch measurement. These are the measurements we need. We are going to start by drafting the upper part of the jumpsuit. So I've already ruled some line. This measurement, I got the bust point of 10.5, under bust 14.5, then length is 17. I added 1 inch to it to make it 18 inches. So now we are going to input our measurement. We start by inputting our shoulder measurement of 8.5, 18 divided by 2. That's half. At this point, we'll come down by 1 inch shoulder slope. Then we will now input our armhole measurement from here. Armhole measurement of 8 inches. Yeah. Now the next thing I will now do is the body measurement. My bust is 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. And I have to input 1 inch seam allowance. Then my under bust is 38 divided by round under bust. Why I'm using under bust? Because I'm going to use a princess dart. If you are not using a princess dart, there is no need of this under bust. So 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. Then plus 1, that's 10.5. Then my waist is 39. 39 is 9.75. Then plus 1, that is 10.75. So the next thing I will do now is to connect the lines. This one. This way. Now, my bust span measurement is 4.5. This is my 4.5. So I will rule a line to connect to both bust and waist line. So I will come down in my bust line. I will come down by 1 inch, by half inch or 1 inch, depending on what you want. I'm coming down by 1. Then at the waist, half inch from both sides. Then on the other side, I'm taking 3/4 side. Then I will connect. I will use my ruler, my curve ruler, to connect this from that line that I came down with. I will use my curve ruler to connect it this way. To meet this. It's because I'm using princess dart. Same thing I will do here. From here, I'll connect it from this 1 inch to meet this point. Then this my armhole. I will the middle of the armhole, which is 4.25. So at that 4.25 is where I will connect this. I'll connect it this way. So then this place I will collect half inch on the both side. I will also connect them. So this 1 inch that I removed, I have to return it back. So I'll add 1 inch here. This is going to be our new armhole. It's from that point that we'll now take our armhole cup. This is it. The neckline, you can decide the neckline of your choice. I will take 4 inches. You can take 4 inches or 4.5. I'm taking 4 inches here by 4.5 here. I'll connect it. Then give it the shape, the neckline shape you want. I'm giving it a round neck shape. This is it for our front body. So don't forget to always slope your measurements. If I'm transferring this on fabrics, I will go up here by ½ inch and connect it this way. So when I'm cutting, I will not be cutting from this line, I will cut from this ½ inch. And another thing, this dart that we removed here, I'm correct, this half and half is 1 inch. You also have to return it back. This 1/4, 3/4 here and 3/4 here, that is 1.5 inch. You also have to return it back here if you are transferring it on fabrics. We are going to the back. This is for the back. For the back, you can take like 4 inches. Remember, we use 4 inches for the front by 2 inches or 1 inch, depending on how high you want the back to be. So I'm taking 1 inch for the neckline. So I will now curve it. This is the back neckline. So we have to slope our shoulder with 1 inch here. Remember, I told you, don't cut from that 1 inch. You always have to cut from this ½ inch here. Then, if you are using straight darts, waistline. If you are using straight darts at this waistline, what you will do is get your bust span measurement of 4 inches here. Then you take ½ inch on both sides of it. Then on this your bust line here, you come down by 1 inch. Then and connect everything. I'll draw it this way. This is my bust. I came down by 1 inch here, so I have to connect my dart to this 1 inch here. This is my back dart. If you are using straight dart, but if you want to make it princess dart, you just get your middle of your armhole here and connect it the way we did at the front. So here you can see that I only have bust line and waistline. I didn't put under bust here because we don't have breast at our. So here now, the next thing we'll do is to input our measurement. My bust is 42 divided by 4 is 10.5 plus 1. If I'm doing it on fabrics, I will add more than 1 inch. Then my waist is 39. That is 9 3/4 plus 1, 10 3/4. So I have to connect two lines together this way. This is my back. And this my armhole here. I have to get the middle of the armhole, which is 4 inches. Then I will now curve my armhole from these 4 inches to this place. I also have to connect this point this way. So this is it. If we are cutting now, this one we are not cutting it because it's said that you just fold it this way and sew it to this point. Then we cut this way. Remember I said you will not cut from here. So you cut from this place because you use this 1/2 inch here to join at the shoulder. Cut your neckline. So this is for the up. The next thing we are going to do now is the down of the jumpsuit.
Okay, the down of the jumpsuit, like we said, you know that our half length, we have collected our half length already to be at 16. So what we will do now is we will mark 1/2 inch up here for the joining allowance. I will turn it to straight line now. I will also measure 1 inch here till the full length of the person. 1 inch. I measure 1 inch. I will also turn it to a straight line. So we don't, you know, like in basic, when we are doing female pants, we used to slope the front. But in basic, in this jumpsuit, you don't need to slope the front unless the material is too stretchy. That is when you can slope the front. But if you are doing it with a non-stretchy material, you don't need to slope the front. So what we'll do now is like we put our tape. This is the half length. We put it at that 16, and now we our waist to hip. Our waist to hip of 24 inches, our crotch depth of 27 inches. You know that this, when you're making a jumpsuit, all your measurements start from shoulder to hip, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip point, shoulder to crotch point, shoulder to knee, shoulder to, everything is from shoulder. So that's why we put this at 16. Our crotch depth is so our shoulder to knee of 39 inches. This is our full length. This is not up to the full length, but I'm using the paper as the full length. I will turn all these to straight lines. Now, there's one line that we have not inputted. That is our from our where we place our round time measurement. And for this person, where we place our measurement is 2 inches below the crotch depth line. That is here. 2 inches below the crotch. Some people's own is 3 inches, some people's own 2 inches or 1.5. It's very important to measure it where you place their time measurement. So I'm going to turn it to straight line. This. The next measurement we are going to input now is the hip measurement. And that hip measurement, you input it from the waist to the full length first before we start placing other measurements. So the hip we are working with is hip 40. Divided by 4 is 10. So I'm going to input 10 from my waist to my full length now. Which is at this point. This is my 10-inch point here. This is my 10-inch point here. and this is my turning point. So I'm going to connect it together. So I'll connect from here to here. I'll also connect from here to here. This now we have is our hip measurement. Now we are going to get our plumb line, because there are many ways to draft a jumpsuit. The down of a jumpsuit. You can make it pencil, you can make it palazzo, you can draft it with a plumb method. Now the one I'm teaching you is drafting it with plumb method. So now to get our plumb line, what we will do now is this our hip line. Now we get the mid, which is 5 inches here. We get the 5 inches here. We also get this 5 inches here. We connect them together to get our plumb. Take it up from here like this. So now we will start to input our measurements. So the measurement that we are going to input here now, the waist working with is waist 30. So 30 divided by 4 will give me 7.5. So that 7.5, I'm going to centralize it on this my plumb line. It will give me 3. So 3 3/4 here and 3 3/4 on this line. The hip, we are not doing anything on it again, because it has already. We have already input our hip measurement of 40 divided by 4, that is 10 inches. So now our round thigh measurement, this is our thigh line. The round thigh measurement I'm working with is 23 inches, divided by 2 is 11.5. So I'm going to input 11.5 at this place. That's where I'll input. Okay, that's the 11.5 point of our round thigh measurement divided by 2. So the next thing I'm going to do now is at the knee. The round knee measurement I'm working with is 16. 16, that's 8. So that 8, I'm going to centralize it. 4 on my left hand side, 4 on my right hand side. Then the round I'm working is 13 divided by 2, that's 7.5. That's 7.5. Now I'm going to divide it into 3 3/4. So I'm going to put my at 3 3/4 and mark here, 3 3/4 and mark here. That is, this is if you are making it pencil. But if you are not making it pencil, you will just mark down your knee measurement here. You mark it down here, bring it down. So I will advise you go with your knee measurement. So the knee measurement we're working with, remember, is 8 divided by 2, that is 4. I'll put 4 here. I will also put 4 here. If you want to make it palazzo also, you will start from this side to extend it. So the next thing we are going to do to connect our points. First, we start from here. Connect the waist to the hip. Remember, the hip, we didn't touch it. So we connect from this point to the hip this way. Then the thigh line, we connect to this point here. Remember, we didn't touch the thigh line. We just from there come this way, the knee. You see it? So from this knee now, what we do now is to get a ruler and go straight down from the knee this way, straight down. That's it. So also on this side, this is my measurement line here, thigh measurement line. So from there,
I will come to my knee with a curve this way to my knee, and from that I will also go straight this way. So this is for the front we are doing now. So this point now we have to connect it to this depth line. So the way it is now, if you connect it this way now, it will not from this point hip line, it will not well. So we have to extend it small, maybe with half or 2 inches here, because we want it to be free. The jumpsuit has to be free on your body. It's not going to be tight. So what we'll do now is that I will connect this point now together this way. Have you seen it? Then from here I will connect to this place. Because it's not a pant that you want it to be this thing. So this is it. That's so that it will be very free on your body. So we are done with the front now. Remember the 1 inch that I left here, we are not coming back to it. So what I will do now is at this 1 inch, I will just take in 3/4 on this my line. I will take 3/4. I will add 3/4 till the hemline. Also here I will take 3/4. Here also 3/4. Also 3/4. At the knee also I will take 3/4 inch. At the hemline here also I will take 3/4 inch. So I'm now going to connect them the same way I did before. So here now I'll put my ruler this way and curve it this way to meet this point. Here I'll do it this way to meet here. Then from here also I'll turn it this way to meet my knee. The 3/4 on my knee. Then I can now go down with my straight ruler to meet my hem line this way. So now the front is ready. The next thing I'm doing now is to cut it out. If you put your folding allowance, when you want to cut, you fold it in this way before you cut. If you are drafting on fabrics, what I did here now, you can do it on your fabrics. You can do it directly on your fabrics than drafting. So we put it this way to cut. If you are folding, you can put it like this and cut this way. Remember, this is where we are cutting from, not that one. We cut this way. Then cut from here like this, still unfold this way. To the 1/2 inch for joining. So from here I cut my touch. So this is it. Now I'm going to use this to get the back. Remember I said there's no stepping up or stepping down of the front, unless it's a very stretchy one. But the back we can step up by 1 inch. The back. So what you will do now is you carry your front panel, face it on your fabric this way. Just give 1 inch at this side. This is exactly 1 inch. So this is our stepping up. We have to connect it. This is our stepping up for the back. So at that point now, what we do now is we give 2 inches allowance here. At this point also, we give 2 inches allowance. At this our here, if it's an average person, that is hip 37 below, you give 3 inches. But if somebody that have from 38 upwards, you give 3.5. So this person now have 8 inches for the hip, so we are going to give 3.5 inches here. So
at the knee here, we will also take 2 inches. At the hemline, we will also take 2 inches. So now I will connect the points together from these 2 inches here to 2 inches here. This way. From here, I will connect to the 3.5. From this 3.5, I will connect to the 2 inches at the knee. Then from here, I will go straight with a straight and connect to the one at the hemline. So this is for back. So the thing I will do now is this, we are going stepping up here now. We'll connect it to this one, so it balance with our front. This point, I'll connect it to meet the front. So trace this side this way, just trace it to the hemline. Don't need to add any other allowance on this side, just trace it to the hemline. This is it. And also we connect it together, they have to be equal. So this is it. The next thing we will do now is to cut it out. So I have this is for the front and this is for the. So like I said, this is not pattern drafting. This is exactly what when you're drafting it directly on your fabrics. So if this video has been helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next tutorial.